Islamic Revolution leader accepts offers made by the judiciary chief with regard to speedy and fair punishment of economic culprits. Top diplomats of 5 Caspian Sea littoral states have gathered in Kazakh city of Aktau to adopt a convention on its legal status. And 3 more Palestinians are martyred on the 20th weekly Great March of Return protest on Friday. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, hello and welcome. It's great to have you with us. Sunday, August 12th, marks the martyrdom anniversary of Imam Muhammad Taqi, the 9th Imam of the Prophet Muhammad's infallible household. The staff at JNN English News Desk would like to offer condolences to Muslims all around the world on this sad occasion. Leader of the Islamic Revolution, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has accepted offers made by the judiciary chief with regard to punishment of economic culprits. The leader, in a message to Ayatollah Sadiq Amuli Larijani, accepted the offer for speedy and fair punishment of those charged with economic corruption. The leader also underlined the need for firm verdicts. Ayatollah Khamenei made the comment replying an earlier message by the top judge. Foreign ministers of the 5 Caspian Sea littoral states, Iran, Russia, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, and the Azerbaijan Republic, have started the 5th Caspian Sea Summit in Kazakh city of Aktau to adopt a convention on its legal status. According to Foreign Ministry spokesman Bahram Qasemi, the deputy foreign ministers of the 5 Caspian Sea littoral states held a meeting on Friday to discuss the draft convention on the legal status of the Caspian Sea. 6 other documents, including agreements on transportation, trade and prevention of maritime incidents, and 3 protocols on security cooperation agreement, are also set to be signed by the top diplomats of the states during the 2-day event. The country's foreign ministers last met in Moscow in December 2017, agreeing to the text of the convention. The convention is slated to be ratified during the summit, which is to be attended by President Hassan Rouhani. Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif has rejected media reports of a possible meeting between Iranian and American officials on the sidelines of the upcoming UN General Assembly meeting. Talking to reporters, Zarif said the American officials are not honest, adding they are grappling with an addiction and their addiction to sanction that will not allow talks. He also said that Oman had transferred no message from the Americans to the Iranians. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has warned the U.S. that its alliance with the country is at risk, saying the growing tension could force Turkey to look for other friends and allies. That is, in an editorial in the New York Times, Erdogan cited Turkey's decades-long cooperation with the U.S. within NATO alliance, adding that recent disputes over a failed 2016 coup, the conflict in Syria, and sanctions imposed this week against top Turkish officials and the country's steel industry were straining their alliance to its breaking point. The Turkish president wrote that continuation of the trend of unilateralism and disrespect will force Ankara to look for new allies. Turkey's economy was already taking a beating, with the lira plunging when the U.S. president announced on Twitter that he was doubling tariffs on steel and aluminium from Turkey. Erdogan has stressed that Ankara is ready for an economic war and will not back off, urging people of Turkey to defend their country against economic attacks. Meanwhile, in a related note, Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif vowed in a post on his Twitter account that Iran will stand with its neighboring Turkey as it did in the past. Zarif also denounced Washington's addiction to sanctions and bullying, warning it will lead to the United States' isolation in the world. American news channel CNN has reported that world powers are defying Washington's anti-Tehran sanctions by encouraging their companies to ignore Donald Trump's threats. Meanwhile, China reiterated its support for continuation of trade ties with Iran. The Chinese Foreign Ministry voiced its opposition to the U.S. unilateral sanctions that are far beyond Washington's judicial authority.
The issue here is not just China, though. I mean, it's the rest of the world. The EU, Russia, China, India, a number of other countries have just simply said that they're not comfortable with the way that the U.S. and Donald Trump is pursuing an international policy where he violates existing contracts because he doesn't like them. This is not the way adults act. He's this kind of playground bully. Behavior is not well received by anybody.
The Austrian ambassador to Tehran, meanwhile, voiced regret over imposition of cross-border legislations by a world country that could affect other countries. Stefan Schulz said Austria will continue cooperation with Iran in line with promotion of competitiveness in the market. Pakistan also underlined its independence when it comes to official economic activities, adding that it will continue trade ties with Iran despite the imposition of U.S. sanctions. The 20th week of Palestinians' protests with the motto of Life and Freedom Friday witnessed thousands of Gazans gather at the border fence to continue their resistance against the occupying Israeli regime. Following the intensified crackdown on Palestinians residing in Gaza during the last few days, protesters staged their weekly Great March of Return to demand the inalienable right to return to their homeland. 3 Palestinians, including a medic, fell martyr on Friday, and over 240 more were injured as Palestinians reiterated they would resist against the Zionists with their bare hands to drive the attention of the international community to the plight of Gazans as a result of the Zionists' blockade. Well, here's a look at some other important news in brief. A terrorist cell coming from northern Iraq, which was formed to infiltrate Iran through Oshnavia borderline, has been dismantled in the northwestern province of western Azerbaijan. During a heavy clash, Iranian border guards killed 11 terrorists who had plans to act against Iran's national security while committing sabotage in the country. A huge amount of ammunition, communication equipment, and weaponry were confiscated from the terrorists. Spokesman of Iran's Guardian Council, Abbas Akhundi, announced that the body has ratified amendment on the Financial Action Task Force on Monday, that is money laundering. Kat Khodai made the remarks Saturday addressing a press conference. He also said to join the FATF and amend the structures of Iran's banking system, certain reforms are required to be enacted step by step. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has picked Anushirvan Mohseni Bandpay as the caretaker of the Ministry of Cooperatives, Labor and Social Welfare. The designation comes following Ali Rabi's sacking from the minister post as he lost his motion of confidence on Parliament's floor Wednesday. The 4th International Exhibition of Poultry, Livestock and Aquatic Animals, Food and Supplies has kicked off in Tehran. Some 33 foreign companies are taking part in the event aimed at promoting the technology of producing ready-made foods compatible with international standards to upgrade the industry. Sanitation promotion strategies and lowering prices are among other venues to be explored in the exposition. Well, that's all for this edition. Many thanks for choosing to stay with us. Goodbye.